get started here. Well, I've already have started, but I'm going to start properly. What I'm going to talk to you tonight about, and I want to share with you, I don't want to talk to you, I don't want to talk at you. I just want to preface something. What I want to share with you here tonight, it's for you to actually do something with it, to take it out to the marketplace, which is where the people are that we offer our solutions to, and do something with it. That's part one. Part two is to take it to your organizations and to start to duplicate it through your organization to build your royalty check. Hands up who wants to build their royalty check. I do, right? Why? Because it's a measuring stick for Christy and I. Our royalty check, you will get to this stage. You don't look at the dollars for the dollars. The dollars represents what's happening in your organization. How many people are getting results on the products? How many people are building their businesses? Okay, so the royalty check represents your value in the market by way of the solutions that we offer. So guys, please, if you want your royalty check to grow, take this information tonight and do something with it. Like actually do something with it, not just take your notes and go away and, oh, that was great. Now, what do we got next week? Oh, yes, we got another training next week. Great, I can take some more notes. You take the notes to refer back to. What you need to do is action. Now, there's my 5-minute prep talk, right? Do it or don't do it. It's up to you. But don't wonder why other people are building their businesses and yours is not, if you are not taking this information in some way, shape or form to the market and refining it as needs be. We're going to talk about building an organization tonight, how to get the royalty check, okay? And I paraphrased some stuff here off the Millionaire Training, right? You know, one thing I've discovered, guys, and I talk to your people. I don't talk to everybody's people all the time, but I talk to enough of your people and other people's people in our organization to come to a conclusion that a lot of people do not know, either what the Millionaire Training tapes are, or where to get them, or, you know, what are they about? Clueless. I think I've heard of them. Yeah, I get that. I think I've heard of them. Or they don't know what the concepts are on the Millionaire Training. And to me, that is something that is so easily fixed and that will have the most incredible effect on your people and yourself. Let me ask you a question here. I'm not going to embarrass anybody at all. Okay? If you say, yeah, oh, well, yes, I've listened to the Millionaire Training. Okay, great. Do you then know it well enough to be able to quote parts of it in trainings? If you're doing a training, could you quote parts of the Millionaire Training? Okay. And if you could say yes to that, you say, could you train on the Millionaire Training, the whole shebang, with bullet points? And if you're at that stage, I would say, yes, you've got the Millionaire Training down. Now, I realize that there's a lot of newer of our people on the team here, team call here tonight. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, the Millionaire Training tapes, tap your sponsor or your upline world team member, of whatever you have to do, to get a hold of those Millionaire Training tapes. They're on Live Your Dreams, they're on the pinned post, and you can download those, and it will groom you to become a millionaire if you choose to be one, right? Okay, so let's talk about, before I go to the PowerPoint, Building an organization is simply this: having somebody to talk to. This is for you and your people. Remember that. This applies to you. It also applies to your people. So you've got to have somebody to talk to, and then you've got to talk to them. You've got to have something to say. So we're going to be covering that here tonight. And what I want to do is empower you and enable you to go out tomorrow with a new sense of confidence and just talk to more people, right? Number one, have people to talk to. Number two, have something to say to them. And if you do that a lot, you're going to find a big difference in your business, okay? So now I've got to go up here and share screen. Just 1 second. Right, maybe not. Hang on. Hang on, here comes the boss.
What have you done? Yeah.
I just opened that up.
No, you do it from here.
Okay, sorry guys.
Hang on, guys.
Share screen button down there.
Yeah, I know, but you got to have the document open, and it wasn't open. Okay, here we go. There you go.
All right. See how simple that was? All right. I'm back in the driver's seat, guys. So there's me enjoying one of those shakes I was telling you about. Okay. So let's just have a quick recap. Well, not last week, at week one, getting set up for business. Okay. Getting set up. If you're a brand new person, this is imperative. If you're already a coach and you've got people in your team, it's imperative that you know how to help get them set up a business. Number two, the Herbalife house, which is again the linchpin of building your business, because when you built the Herbalife house, that's somewhere around about 20,000 a year part-time extra income. Okay, and it's also a duplicatable business model. So the Herbalife house covers retailing, wholesaling, and having a plan of action. And the plan of action is to start and then complete your Herbalife house in the shortest period of time in line with your goals. Last week, follow-up client care and upgrading, which we talked a lot about how to move your clients to that distributor mentality and have them become wellness coaches starting as a client. And that's a very, very important part of our business, okay? That client to member transition, so that you've got people who are already in love with the products. They can tick that box, and then they go on, they become effective wellness coaches in their communities too. Now this week, week 4, team building and using the system, the success system, the international success system, to help you build your people's business. You might want to just make a note here that you build royalties by building people. Okay, that's how if you want to build a royalty check, you've got to build people. If you want a profitable business, you've got to help people have a profitable business. If you help your people make money, you will make money. If you only focus on you making money and you let your people sink or swim on their own, then does it work? Yes, I've seen it work. Does it work often? No. You don't want that to be the average way that you're going to do your business. Okay. So why do we retail and recruit? Clearly, to get the skill. That's the main thing. To get the skill if you want to build a royalty check. If you just want to have a retail business and just make some part-time money at home and you're not interested in a royalty check, Well, then you do it for the cash flow, and you do it to help people in your community, okay? Now, if you want to build an organization, you do it to learn the skill which you in turn can teach to others. The other two things are givens, right? For cash flow, for the mission, the community, for your clients, for the betterment of humanity. Yes, we do it for all those reasons, but you want to do it so that you can become a teacher of the skill. Someone says, well, listen, I need to make 1,000 a month. And you say, hey, no problem, 1,000 a month. We can get that many clients together for you. Let's go to work on that project. Who do you know we could help with these products? Okay, that's why. Now, why do we recruit? Big thing, right? To duplicate your time. Okay, you've only got so many hours in a day, 24. That's it. If you max out, you've got 24 hours. Okay. If you've got 7 days, that's 7 to 140, 7, 8, 56, 176 hours in a week, right? Okay. Now, if you max out, if you work for 7 days straight, no sleep, no nothing, you're maxed out with those hours. Okay. But if you've got one distributor who can do 1 hour a day, you've now got an extra day, right? Over 7 days, you've got an extra 7 hours. Almost a working day, right? You've got 10 distributors who got 1 hour a day that they put into their business. You've now got 70 hours a week, plus your own. So, you know, you cannot leverage easily outside of Herbalife, right? Because this gives you the capacity to create leverage in the marketplace. And when you look at people like Gavin and Jess, for example, I'm just going to use them. When you look at their organization, okay, when you add up the hours of the collective of everyone in their organization, it's incredible. And that's why the royalties flow back to that collective, because it increases the leverage of the value in the marketplace dramatically. You know, you've only got 24 hours yourself and 2 hands, 1 mouth. You cannot help everybody. And Mark Hughes laid the foundation for this. He said, I could help my granny. He said, but I couldn't help all the grannies that needed help. He said, so I had to recruit distributors and show them how to look after people like my granny. He said, in that way, we helped all the grannies, right, that wanted to be helped. Okay, so why build a team? Well, without the team, as far as you're going to go in Herbalife is supervisor. Okay, world team is as far as you can go. Okay, he's still a supervisor, of course, but if you want to go beyond world team, then you have to build a team, because from world team on, get team, a millionaire team, president's team, and so on, is all based on what your organization that you've created does in the marketplace, not what you personally do. All the promotions up to get team are based on what you personally do, with the exception of active world team. So if you want to progress, you must build an organization on which you create royalties, incomes for yourselves. But that, of course, comes from the solutions that you're offering in the marketplace en masse through the leverage that Herbalife allows you to have. I hope I'm not making that complicated, because it's really very simple. You want a team? You want the royalty check, you want to progress in the company. That is all governed by the team that you build, okay? So that's why you build a team. Now, if you look at these, this little example here, example 1, 2, and 3, that was in my career book when I got started back in 1991, December 91. And I actually, you can see my arrow here on example 3, I stuck a photo of Christy and I on top of that photo as example 3, because that was going to be me. Okay, right from the get-go, that was going to be me. Okay, and I said, well, mate, you know, I can do 2,500 a month as a supervisor. Yes, tick. Now, could I find 2 and help them to find 2 and help those 2 to find 2 who want to do what we're doing? Yeah, I could do that, and I did that. Okay, and then I got to the millionaire team doing that, but you know, with 3 people, and then I got to president's team after 9 years. But I didn't get 5 who got 5 who got 5. It didn't go exactly like that, but nevertheless, the total number of people on the products was equivalent to what that shows there. Okay. And, you know, we've since duplicated that through other presidents in our organization. So you build a team to affect more people with the products than you can affect by yourself. It's as simple as that. So if you want to affect a handful of people, you'll make some extra income. You want to affect a lot of people, you'll make a lot of income. You want to affect communities and regions and cities, you'll become wealthy. And if you want to affect countries, you'll become extremely wealthy. So it depends on you what you want to do. But that model there, example 1, 2, or 3, pick which one it is that you want to go for, and then work with your coach and do it. And the other thing is, make sure your people understand this so you can work with them to help this happen for them. Okay? If you're not working with your people on this, right, either example 1, 2, or 3, then what, or building their Herbalife house, what are you working with them on? I mean, here's your blueprint right here for success. Well, you know, just work with your people on that, and this becomes totally duplicatable then. Anyone can do that, okay? So, getting back to what I said, somebody to talk to and then talking to them, decide who you want for your team, okay? You know, many years ago, I was shared this. Would you give everybody a chance with Herbalife? Absolutely. Because, you know, everybody's got some potential, haven't they? We don't know what it is and they don't know what it is. And you never know. We talk about finding a diamond in the rough. You know, Herbalife is a beautiful diamond cutting and polishing experience for a lot of people. We've seen that. And you look at all the backgrounds and all the different walks of life that people have come from into Herbalife and made it to the president's team. It really is quite universal. It's unbelievable. What it means is it's open to anybody, okay? However, if you want to build a team, here's a couple of tips for you, okay? If you're not really good at doing a meeting, recruit someone who is, okay? If you're not that good at retail, recruit someone who is. If you're not that good at training, can you recruit someone who is? If you don't like going out and doing flyers, could you recruit someone who does? If you're not that good at running an ad and talking to people, recruit someone who is. You see, whatever it is that you're not good at, you can fill that void by recruiting. You know, Henry Ford, who started the Ford Motor Company, said, and I don't want to misquote here, so someone can Google it up. I'm pretty sure it was Henry Ford. He said, if I recruit someone who's smarter than me, it proves that I'm smarter than them. I'll say it again. If I recruit someone smarter than me, then that proves that I'm smarter than them. Because he was smart enough to realize he needed to recruit the expertise. Please write that term down. Recruit expertise. So, you know, if it was any other company, any other business, okay, let's say you have a coffee shop. You start a coffee shop, and you're not that good at making coffee, and your expertise is elsewhere. So you run an ad, and it says help wanted in coffee shop, and a phone number. But what you actually need is the barista who can make the coffee, right? You've got wait staff, you've got cleaning staff, okay, you're doing the bookwork and the administration and so forth. So you need an actual barista. But if you just put, you know, wanted help for coffee shop, and you get all kinds of people ringing up, okay, you know, and people, your first question is, well, are you a barista? No. Oh man, okay, I forgot to put that in the ad, right? So if you need a barista for your coffee shop, wouldn't you advertise for a barista? Of course you would. Now, here's what I'm getting at. What kind of person do you want in your team? Do you want someone who could build a team? Do you want someone who's good with people, who could manage people, who can train people? What if you had the opportunity to recruit someone who was working in an insurance company, and their job was to train people on how to sell insurance? Wouldn't they be a great recruit? Because they already know how to recruit and train people who can go out and sell stuff. I'm just saying, right? Or, you know, would you prefer somebody else? What I'm saying is you have the opportunity here in Herbalife to recruit the expertise that you want. You can do that. All you got to do is figure out what you want and then find out and how you're going to go get that. The other thing is learn simple invitations that can get anyone to take a look. And this is so important, especially if you're new here. Your job is not to sell the product to people. Your job is not to recruit people into Herbalife. Your job is to show people the products, get them to taste it, to sample it, okay? And then if they want to buy, they will buy, okay? Your job is to show people the opportunity, because people who are on the president's team today didn't wake up one day and say, you know what, I'm going to make a career change. I am going to become an Herbalife president's team member. That's what I'm going to do. That's my career path. I'm looking at Tammy Martin here. I remember Tammy the first night I ever met her, right? And Tammy came from a corporate background, highly educated, and she just came down to take a look at what we were doing. Jess got a hold of Tammy and said, you know, I don't know how many times that Jess invited Tammy, but eventually Tammy came down and took a look, didn't really know anything about it, comes down, takes a look, and goes, I'll be done, right? This looks okay. I think I'm going to give it a go. And look at it today, right? So, you know, you just want to get people to come and take a look or a taste or a you know, a smell or a feel or, you know, rub it on or wipe it off, whatever, okay? That's your job, okay? And if you get people to take a look, the power of Herbalife is enough for the right person. Please write this down, okay? You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. You cannot say the wrong thing to the right person. Conversely, you can't say the right thing to the wrong person. All you've got to do is say it. Now, you've got to come up with what to say, that's for sure. But just a couple little tips here to help you and who you're going to be talking to. You must make a list. We're going to cover that near towards the end. You must make a list. Some people still get married these days, okay? And if they do have a wedding, guess what's the first thing that they do? Well, they decide, yes, we're going to get married. Then they decide when they're going to get married. One of the very next things that they would do is, who's going to come to the wedding? Who do we invite? And you make a list. You make a list because the caterer wants to know how many people are going to come. You want to know how many invitations to send out. Depending on how many people are coming, depends on how big a venue you get, etc., etc., etc. You make a list, okay? And you work from the list. And if you've sent invitations out to Rob Walsh and he didn't respond by the RSVP date, you know that because you've got a list and you call out and say, Rob, the wedding. I say, oh man, I'm sorry, we'll be there for sure, right? Because you know that because you've got a list. So you've got to make that list of names and you work from it. But here's who we're looking for, guys, okay? Dissatisfaction. And again, this is on the Millionaire Training and it's so profound. You know, the common denominator of all people in Herbalife is that they come down to take a look or they come down to check out the product. And by the way, from this point, I'm only going to refer to the business, okay? It applies on both sides, but I'm only going to refer to the business. People come and take a look at Herbalife because they're dissatisfied. Something's not right in their life. Something's missing. And maybe, who knows, maybe Herbalife will provide that answer, okay? So we're looking for dissatisfied people. Have we got teachers in Herbalife? Yes, dissatisfied teachers. Have we got doctors in Herbalife? Yes, dissatisfied doctors. Dissatisfied in one or more part of their life. So number one, we're looking for dissatisfied people and we're looking for dissatisfaction in a couple of areas. Number one, could it be money? Of course, money's the big one. People don't feel that they're making enough money for the work they do, or they're just not making enough money. They've got too much month at the end of the money, always scrabbling, always catching up, always under pressure. And people just say, man, I've had this. This has to change. They're dissatisfied. If you invite them, they will take a look, okay? people who want challenge in their life, people who've got good jobs, making good money. I've got a really good doctor friend in this boat. He's making a lot of money, but there's no challenge in his life. He doesn't like it. And if he could see a way, and my job is to help him see a way, that he could generate the income as an Herbalife member, as a doctor, he would change, because he just doesn't have the love for being a doctor anymore, right? His words, not mine. What about fun? People say, well, look, I got a bit of challenge in my business, but it's dead boring, right? And there's no fun in my life. I don't look forward to going to work. You know, before I get there, I'm thinking about coming home, right? I can't wait for Friday. I dread Monday. It's just not fun, okay? What causes people not to have fun? Lack of money, lack of challenge, okay? Lack of career path, okay? These are the things that prevent people from having fun. If we can show people how to satisfy those things that they're dissatisfied with, then they're the kind of people you want to be talking to. Now, simple invitations to get anyone to look. We're going to cover this a little bit. However, these are only pointers. And what you need to do is sit again with your new distributor. If you're a supervisor and a leader here, okay, you need to sit with your people and help them figure out a simple invitation that does one of two things. Sorry, does two of two things. Number one, the person saying it's got to feel comfortable saying it. It can't be, hi, I am in a new business called Herbalife, and I want to show you something totally incredible. No, that's not right, okay? It's got to be, hi, listen, we've talked in the past about, ending our money worries and getting ahead financially. I think I found something. It looks really, really great. And tell you what, I've been thinking about you. I think that you and I could do something fantastic with this. Why don't you have a look at it? If you like it, great. If you don't like it, great. How about that? Boom. That's a good invitation, okay? It works, I know, because I use it, okay? So, learn simple invitations. The objective is to get people just to take a look, and they know when they've had a look. They're either going to say, well, this is great, or I need more information, or no, thanks, I'm out. They know, right? All you need to do is find out. Okay, these are the attributes. I already talked about it. Nice people in difficult circumstances. And boy, how timely is that? How many nice people are in difficult circumstances right at this moment? How many? I mean, an untold number of people. We need to be getting that invitation out there saying, listen, I don't know if you're up for it, but if you've got your options open, why don't you take a look, right? You can see here and read, guys. Take a screenshot, please. Reliable, responsible people who've got a proven track record. They want a better life, and they've expressed that. Ambitious people who are on the up. Sometimes you find people that instead of talking about Gogglebox on TV, and I'm not knocking Gogglebox, I've never watched it, okay? Instead of watching TV, they're working on improving themselves. They're reading books, self-improvement books, and so forth and fifth, okay? They're looking to get better. People who've recovered from past setbacks. This is a good one. Write this word down, guys. Resilience. Resilience. Yes, you need resilience to succeed in life, not just Herbalife, in life. If you're not resilient, then the first thing that comes along is going to knock you over, and then you lay there, you don't get back up. So if you know people that have recovered already from a setback, that's a great sign. Anyone who has had a leadership role in sport, work, school, neighborhood, church, anything. Anyone that's had a job as a kid. I just did my childhood CV the other day, right? I had a paper round at 12. I was selling papers on the street corner at 12. At 13, I had a paper round. At 14, I was working at Safeway. In between that, I delivered rag bags and picked them up, made money on that, okay? And then worked for Safeway, and then I got my first job at 17, okay, as an apprentice. So somebody who's got that background have always been out there and trying to earn their own money, guys. That's great, Look for someone to say, did you have any jobs as a kid? Yeah, I did. Tell me about them, right? And that way you might say, well, listen, you know what? You're the kind of person I'm looking for my business. Would you be interested in taking a look at what I'm doing? Okay. Now, if they're dissatisfied, the answer will probably be yes. Okay. Socially active people who love being around other people. Okay. I tell you who's not a good prospect on that term. Somebody who's just like, they say, look, I just want to be a computer program. I want to sit in the back office there, 2 doors in, and all I want to do is do code all day. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to interact with anybody. I just want to do my job. I get there, I start, I finish, and I go home. That's me. Are they the kind of person that would be a good fit for your team? I don't know. Unless they express dissatisfaction and some desire and ambition, who knows, right? Here's the great thing. Somebody like you, right? Somebody like you, or somebody that you look up to. Now that means recruiting up, guys. Could you, listen, if you're in, people like you would see it too. But what we tend to do is recruit down. Here's why. In the normal working world, the junior manager, the office manager, does not interview the prospective CEO of the company, right? It just doesn't happen, right? The chairman of the board interviews, and the board interviews the CEO. The CEO interviews the managers that report to him, and so on and so on and so on. And way down, you know, when you get to the shop floor or whatever, somebody recruits the guy who you know, trims the hedge out the front of the office, right? The CEO doesn't do that. So we tend to recruit down. We don't recruit the person at our own level in normal business. We recruit down. What I'm saying is you recruit at your own level here or up. Okay? And all you've got to know is this: if the person appears to be above you, right? That's someone you'd like to emulate, someone. So could you go and headhunt someone that you think would be fantastic for your team? Okay, they're a bit older than you. Their title scares you a little bit. They're a senior poobah in the organisation, and they make a couple of $100,000 or $250,000 a year. Why not go for that person? They've already shown they're ambitious. They've already shown they're a high achiever. They've already shown that they're capable of doing bigger things. They've already shown they're above average in a lot of areas. Why wouldn't you go for those people when all you have to do is get them to take a look? Okay. And remember that line down the bottom there, birds of a feather flock together. Okay. I was in real estate. I recruited a lot of real estate people because birds of a feather flock together. If I saw the opportunity, some of them would too. And you know what they did. Okay. So this is that list we're talking about before, okay? You see that circle and bit there? This is in your setup and enrollment steps for the newer ones, and also for the coaches. This is part of the setup steps for your new people. And now enable and empower them. Don't send them say, well, just do these. No, your job is to go through with them and to coach them on it and mentor them on it, okay? And for you who are the newer ones, and as the newer ones come along, your job is to do this stuff and report back to your coach. It's a two-way street, okay? So step number 8 says make a list of potential clients and team members. And you can see here, there's part of my original list. I had 82 names on my first list, okay? And what I want to point out to you there is Darren Walsh, who's my brother. Gary Teese was a guy that I worked in real estate with. Adam Hurley was my flatmate. Rob Yusenich was another real estate guy. Ian Brown was the state manager for, I think it was First National Real Estate. He was the state manager, okay? Dean Thurley. I don't know if you can see that, but next to Dean Thurley, I've got in brackets, I've got there pitched, no show, right? I pitched this guy and he didn't show up for the appointment. So that's the note I made. I'll come back to him. The other guy, Murray Davies, I got Murray on the products. And then I pitched him on the business, and you know, so I've got there no interest. He was not dissatisfied with his job. He was in real estate. He wasn't dissatisfied with that. He was dissatisfied with his asthma. Okay. and so on, all those names down there. But I'll tell you something interesting. Have a look at this next slide. This next slide, right? Here's what came off that. That list there produced 3 presidents, 9 millionaire team, and 33 get team. Okay, who wants to make a list? Anybody? Yes, no, perhaps. Okay, now that's so far. We're still a work in progress. Have a look down the bottom here where my arrow is. Christy English. Seriously, right? Christy was a girlfriend. I don't want to say one of my girlfriends because she was my only girlfriend, but she was and she wasn't. You know what I mean? I didn't want to get tied down, but anyway, what an incredible thing. Okay, so we should have made a much bigger list, right? So, starting the Herbalife conversation, that slide where was, okay, having someone to talk to, and now this is about talking to them. Your narrative, your story, okay? Imagine I'm having a conversation with any single one of you, and I'm just going to bring this up for a moment so I can see everybody, okay? As many as possible. And just imagine I said to you, oh, where did you grow up? Oh, I grew up in Dubbo. Well, how come you ended up here from Dubbo? What happened there? And then you told me this big story. Well, you know, I went to school there, and then I met this guy, or I met this girl, and then blah blah blah, and da da da, and yeah, and along the way this happened, and then that happened, and then we went to live in London for 2 years. Oh, you lived in London for 2 years. Oh yeah. And then we came back, and da 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 da, and bing bing bing, and we went back to Dubbo for a while, and now here I am. I live out in the tablelands up there in far north Queensland, right? Okay, that's incredible, right? Did I need to coach you on telling that story? No, it's your journey. The narrative is your journey, okay? It gives you the opportunity to just paint a picture, okay? And it doesn't have to start back when you were 12 years old, all right, or when you fell off your bike at 5, okay? You know, you just say, listen, you know, you and I have been talking for a while now, and you know I'm in real estate, and you just, okay, you talk about real estate for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever. And then you tell the story about how you came across Herbalife. How did Herbalife come into your life? That's a good point to make. How did Herbalife knock on your door? How did it come to be that you today are an Herbalife distributor? It didn't just happen. You weren't walking down the street and a member pack fell out of the sky and hit you on the head, right? Something happened. And my story that I tell, I just say, a good mate of mine started, you know, he was the manager of a golf club in New South Wales. And I met him and we got friendly. And he got started in Herbalife about that time. And over the years, fast forward, you know, he kept in touch and he kept telling me about these products and about the business. Anyway, it turns out he rang me one particular day. He said, listen, I've just bought a house on the Gold Coast. I'm coming up. How about we get together for a beer? I said, sure. So I met him for a beer at the yacht club. And he said to me, how's real estate? And so I put on a brave face and I told him, and it wasn't great at all, but I didn't want to be bad news Harry, right? And so then I asked him the fateful question, how's Herbalife? And he goes, Herbalife's going great. He said, we've got this fantastic new product called cellular nutrition and the energy and the weight. And I go, oh my God, I need energy and I need to lose some weight. And I said, yeah, okay, that's great. You know, fantastic. How's the business? And he goes, oh, you won't believe it. He said, I've got this guy making that much and this guy over here is making that and another person over here is making that. And I said, well, how are you doing? He said, we made 79,000 last month. I go, 79,000, that's 80,000 a month. That's $1 million a year, Gary. He goes, I know. I said, are you making that? He goes, no. He said, I will next year. I said, sign me up. That's my narrative. Now, it'll take a little bit longer to tell it, but that gets me to the point of how I got started and why. I was dissatisfied, right, et cetera, et cetera. And the person I'm telling it to, they're either relating to that or they're not. Now, if they are relating to it, they're coming towards. If they're not relating to it, they're looking at their watch and heading for the door, right? Doesn't matter. My job is to tell the story, but your narrative is how you got to where you signed up with Herbalife. How did Herbalife knock on your door? What's happened since it knocked on the door, and where it's going now, from now. Those are three important parts of your narrative. How did Herbalife knock on your door? What happened since it knocked on your door? And where are you going from today? And why are you talking to this guy or girl? Because you're putting a team together, okay? Now, you'll get comfortable at telling you a story, and I promise you this, everybody listens to a story. Everybody listens to a story. Yes? And I always ask questions, say, listen, do you mind if I tell you a story? And they go, sure. So I tell them. How hard's that? Do you mind if I tell you a story? Okay, moving on. Now, the invitation. It's so important, guys, but there's nothing to it. Now, let me help you out here. If you've ever had a party at your house before, you're really good at inviting. If you've had a barbecue and people showed up, you're really good at inviting. If you've had that wedding, you're really good at inviting, okay? So you already are a good inviter. You've just got to transition a little bit to invite people to take a look at Herbalife. And the point of the invitation is here, and you can see the cursor, is to look. You just want people to look, not buy or join, but to look. Jim Rohn taught us, use all your power of persuasion to get people to take a look. Just all your powers of persuasion to get them to look, okay? But don't be attached to the outcome. If you're going to get attached to anything, get attached to the activity of inviting. Because if you're attached to the activity and do enough of it, the outcome is guaranteed. Enough people will be like you and they'll see it like you see it and they'll want to do it too, okay? Here's some tips. Write out what you want to say and practice it, okay? Gary told me to do this and I did it. I wrote out what I thought I was going to say. And you know what? I didn't like it. I went over it again and I wrote double line, you know, left a space, a line in between each line. So double lines, yeah. And I read that and I said, nah, that's not me. I didn't like that. So I crossed it out and I rewrote it and I refined it and I refined it. And it was like a movie, right? A scripted movie. The reason I have a script is so when the actor gets up there, he knows what he's going to say because it's going to tie in with something else, either that's done before it or is going to come later, okay? So write it out and practice it. Now, here's the other thing that I did is that I recorded myself and I was a little bit embarrassed, to be honest. I didn't like the way I spoke. That's the first thing. But then I said, no. And I changed it. So I wanted to make sure that I gave myself the best chance. Okay. I didn't want to mess it up for the person because there's so much writing on this. Can you imagine if Gary had given me an invitation that I said, oh, no, mate, no, I think I'll give it a miss. And he goes, oh, well, okay, yeah, whatever. Imagine if that had been the outcome of Gary's invitation, okay? Then none of this would be happening right now. So there's so much writing on it, not about you. It's for the life you can change and the lives that will be changed because of the life you change. Remember the pebbles in the pond, right? You throw one pebble in the pond, the ripples go. You throw 2 or 3 in the pond at the same time, and now you've got these interweaving ripples, and you've got no telling where they're going to end up, guys and girls. So don't think about, I got to recruit this guy for me. I got to recruit this guy for him and his family and the people he knows, and it could go to 27 levels of supervisors from that person down, and look at all the people that will be affected in a positive way. Yes, it's important that you do the best possible job that you could do, because all of those things will build your business, but you've got to give to get. And this is that principle at work right here now. You've got to give to get, okay? So take time to think about the person. I just explained that. And decide on the appropriate way of getting people to take a look. So you might want to just ring them up, meet them for a coffee, or you can talk over the phone, or you can do social media, you can do Messenger, you can do WhatsApp, you can do anything these days, okay? and think about what you want to show them. Right now, what we want to show them is Herbalife and that it's working. But, you know, horses for courses. You've heard that saying before. So just think about the person and the best way, somebody said, you've got to find the button that's going to, oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's me. I'll take a look at that. You know, if someone's making, $500,000 a year and you say, well, it's not going to show you a way to make an extra couple of grand a month. Yeah, you're not really hitting their hot button. If someone's making $500,000 a year, I tell you what, they got nothing of, and that's time, spare time. So they might be looking for a way to increase their time and the style of living. The money's there, but they don't have the life. Okay, so think about, and again, I used to talk to Gary about every prospect before I approached them. I said, I'm going to call this guy. Gary said, well, just tell me about him, and I would. And Gary'd say, okay, well, look, just get him to take a look at the video, or we only had a video back then. And as soon as you finish doing that, get him on the phone with me, and I'll tell him my story. And again, I can't tell you how important that is, and that's coming up. Okay, pardon me. Okay, so please take a screenshot. Okay, here's some great examples here. I've just come across a way to make some extra money, and I thought of you. You notice we got, I thought of you. I thought of you, right? These are the magic words, guys. I thought of you. I found a ticket out. I thought of you. Okay. Listen, I've just gotten onto something part-time. I'm sure it's going to help us get ahead financially. And based on what we've been talking about, I thought of you too, right? If there was a way you could make an extra $300, $500, $1,500 a month part-time, would you be interested in having a look at it? Hey, I saw this and I thought of you. Okay. These are little bullet points, and it's not just that you'd say, hey, I think you would be great in our team. We'd have a lot of fun working together. That works, right? But what I'm saying is use these as a guide to come up with something that you're comfortable to say and that does what we want it to do, which is get people to take a look. Okay? So just take a screenshot there. And again, mentors work together with your team members, and team members work with your mentors to get this right. Because if you want the royalty check, you're going to have to say something like that to invite people to take a look. Okay? Now, this is a great little group that's just been started. Okay? And have them check us out. Now, I don't like that term. They don't need to check us out, but get them to take a look at us and to see if they can align with what we're doing. Okay. It's called Join the Global Team. You can see it's circled there. That's been put together by a couple of people in, trying to think of his darn name. That doesn't matter. It'll come to me. But, it's a great site, and here's what's on it. Okay. It's got these little training modules, little videos and stuff. So you can see there, have a look at it so you know, okay? There's 5 introductory videos. It's about Herbalife. It's about our Seed to Feed program. It's about the extra income to residual income explanation. It's a message from Michael Johnson, and it's a Q&A on how to handle questions that you got, okay? So there's that, okay? I want everybody to take a look at that, then judge whether or not it's for you. And over here, these posts are people with their backgrounds. Okay, so you see here, meet Kelly, personal trainer. So there's a search bar and you put in their personal trainer, and that would bring up Kelly. Okay, we got, okay, here's another PT trainer. Okay, and before Gavin and Jess, Gav was an insurance broker. So if you put in insurance broker, you'll get Gav's picture. Christy's story is in there. Okay. So what this is to have them relate to people like them, so they could be thinking, your prospect, well, if these people could do it, I could do it, surely, right? So in other words, they're not experimenting. This is a big one. They're not experimenting. So guys, check that out. Okay. And there it is there. Join the Global Team, it's called. And still can't think of my friend's name. I'm losing it. Okay. So as I said, here we are. search the stories and you'll get all the different stories come up, and I'm sure you're going to find someone that your people can relate to. Okay, there's more of the same. All right. One of the other things you can download is the little green book of scripts, and it's a script, or in other words, a guide on what to say in just about any circumstance you could think of. Okay. If you look at the recruiting related scripts there, I urge you to check it all out. There's scripts there for qualifying a CEO, a circle of influence for a meeting with your supervisor, circle of influence scripts, how to invite referrals, how to respond to an ad, a headhunting script. There's some very, very good scripts in there, all of which are contributed from other people, and they work. They work if you use them, okay? Now, let's get to this, right? You found somebody to talk to, you talk to them, you get them to take a look, and here's what we want to do. We want to find out what they want to do. Now, these days, I've learned a few things, and I think this: if a person's not ready to jump in, then it's probably not for them, okay? I couldn't wait to get started. I know some of you are the same. I don't think anybody had to get the crowbar onto them, right, to get going. We looked at it and said, if this is for real, I'm doing it, right? So once people have had a look, just find out where it is. And I just say to them, listen, it's on these words here. Listen, how about we do this together? We can build something amazing here, okay? Do you want to do this with me, right? I'm doing it. You want to do it with me, okay? My favorite line is this: I think you'd be a great fit. I'd love to have her on the team, and I think we could do something fantastic together here, okay? You want to give it a go or what? That's me. That's what I say. Now, I came up with those words. They suit me to say it. They may not suit you or anybody else to say it, but I came up with that. That's me. That's my part, okay? So you've just got to find out. If someone says, well, look, I'm going to go home and think about it, I say, that's a great idea. They say, I want to talk to my wife or husband or partner. Okay, that's a good idea. Just come back and let me know what you want to do. Because my view is they're just being polite. They didn't see it, okay? Now, if they've seen the whole thing, the testimonials, the product results, people are having life-changing results, they see the money, okay, etc. They see the whole thing. If they don't want to do it, then they're being polite. They say, well, look, I want to have a think about it, or I want to talk to my accountant, or I want this, or I want that. My attitude is they didn't see it. However, I'm going to keep in touch with them, because that Dean Thurley that I wrote down in my book and said, hey, he was a no-show. Every bit of our Indian business is under that guy, but he's not in. He got started, he gave it 6 months and then walked away, right? But if I hadn't have followed Dean up, he wouldn't have signed up, and then probably it wouldn't have happened like it's happened, okay? So, just getting a new member set up for success. One of the big errors I see being made by people is just getting signed up for the $80 odd business pack. And it's got a can of Formula One in it, and that's their product experience. That can of Formula One is in there. Excuse me. I got my LO and mineral water. That Formula One shake is in there is really for sampling. Sampling for the new member and sampling for their friends, relatives, neighbors, co-workers. People, if they're going to go into business and you want to get in the best shape of your life, they've got to get a program, period. Back when I got started, there was no choice. When you signed up, you got an advanced pack in it. You paid, I can't remember what it was, but you paid the money and you got your IBP with all the paperwork and the button and everything and all these products. It was a done deal. So when you're getting a new person started, here's what you show them. You got 3 choices here. Okay? Basic, advanced, and ultimate. Which one do you want to get started on? And what flavor do you like? That's it, guys. You don't say, well, here's how you get started. You buy this $80-odd HMP, and then I'll come back tomorrow and I'll show you the products. No, no, no. You show them that, and that includes the HMP and the products in one hit, and they only have to make one decision. And the one decision is, after they've said, yes, I want to do it, their only decision is, what flavor do you like? And which program, okay? So there's two choices there, two decisions. Ultimate, advanced, basic, and what flavor? That's it. And that's how you do it. Now, you can do it any other way you want, but you've got to remember, if you want to build the royalty check, it's a duplication business. And if you sign up 100 people just with the IBP, the HMP, I beg your pardon, then the royalty is going to be zero because no product's been sold, no product's been consumed. The Formula One is the sample. So if you get people started on a program with the HMP, they're in the business, and that's how they get their people started too. Okay? So again, this is 101 Herbalife, guys. Okay? All right. Now, the power of welcome calls. And again, this is another 101 deal as far as I'm concerned. I got every new person in my team on a welcome call with Gary. Everyone. And funnily enough, all of my people started to get their people on calls with me and Gary in some cases, and so on and so on. Here's why, okay? It lets your new person know that the company's bigger than you. It lets your new person know the company's bigger than you, okay? It allows the mentor, right, to find out about your new distributor and ask questions that maybe you hadn't yet asked or had forgotten to ask, okay? So it's building that bridge of understanding. It demonstrates immediately for the new member to have another story, right? That's yours. If you're the one that's doing the three-way call, as the invited one, I should say, then now the team member, the brand new member's got two stories, the sponsor story and the upline story. It demonstrates immediately that we're going to work as a team, not just wah, 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 oh, we've got a great team. You're demonstrating it. You're saying, listen, I'm just going to show you and prove to you that we've got great teamwork. I'm going to get my coach on the line and he's going to have a chat to you. She's going to have a chat to you. It's a demonstration straight away. Okay, now here's the other thing. The mentor can edify the sponsor in front of the new person. And you just say, oh, listen, Mary, you're so, listen, I'll tell you something, right? You got Tammy as your coach. You're going to go great because Tammy is just one of our best coaches, right? And make sure you work with her closely and make sure that you listen to what she says to you because she's only going to tell you the important stuff, okay? All right? So I'm edifying the sponsor and new distributor relationship. And it allows the mentor to promote, right? Just say, listen, do you want to make a lot of money or a little bit? Well, I'd like to make a lot. Well, do you know what a supervisor is? I heard that, but I don't know what it is yet. Well, I tell you what, Tammy's going to explain that to you right now because you want to get the supervisor as quickly as you can because that's where it all starts, okay? That puts you in a position to build a royalty check. Do you know what a royalty is? Oh, I'm not really sure. Well, Tammy will show you all that too, right? Straight after the end of this call. Boom. So what are we doing? We're promoting so the person can move ahead. Do you know what a senior consultant is? No. Well, no problem. But let me tell you, that's a great way to get started because number one, you're going to get your own products at a better price. Number two, you're going to make more profit on your retail business. And secondly, you're also going to have a little bit of a wholesale margin on any wholesale business you do. You make sure Tammy shows you that, right? See what I'm saying? You're given the opportunity to promote to your person's new person, okay? The other thing is the sponsor now learns by that what are the most important areas to focus on when they're talking with their next prospect and their next new distributor, okay? So that they say, oh, okay, yeah, okay, good, I got that, yeah, I got that, yes, okay, next time. And lastly, we certainly, it takes some pressure off the inexperienced sponsor. You know, I remember I sponsored my very first person. I thought, wow, fantastic. what do I do now? Oh my God. You know, it's like having a baby. You don't know what to do. You know, you've got one, but you don't know what to do with it. Okay. So it really helps build the confidence of a new sponsor. Okay. And especially if you've got someone that you've sponsored that might be older than you, maybe, you know, a family member who's a little bit, you know, not cynical, skeptical, and they're kind of giving you a hard time. And then they get someone on the phone like Tammy or Christy or Jess or anybody, and they hear, whoa, listen, my 18-year-old granddaughter here really has gotten onto something, right? And it gives them a whole different view of what's going on. So these welcome calls are Herbalife 101, and it's not Rob Walsh talking about it. It was Jim Rohn talking about it, and Mark Hughes talking about it, Larry Thompson talking about it, and all the president's team talk about it. So it's 101 Herbalife. Now, you get to choose, do it or don't do it, but if you don't do it, then it's going to be a challenge for you to build your royalties, okay? Now, getting a new member started, there are these 10 steps, and I've covered this a little bit. So, guys, just please take a screenshot so that you know the steps and that you can teach these steps and that you're aware of these steps so you can get through here. So take a screenshot here and make sure that you talk about this with your coach and mentor, okay? All right. The big thing, though, is I want to say, and I'll just go forward a little bit. I just missed that, and I'm going to miss that. Okay. The big thing to ask people is, do they want to make a lot of money or a little bit? Okay. Now, I'm not going to go through the Herbalife house, but to build that Herbalife house here is equivalent to approximately 20 to 25 people using the products. Now, they can be customers or distributors or members, it doesn't matter. It's about 25 people, and the profit on that is approximately $20,000 a year when it's fully built. And that becomes your duplicatable business model. And that's a term you want to get very, very familiar with, a duplicatable business model, okay? And that's going to help you develop your organization, which in turn will develop your royalties. So make sure that you can explain this Herbalife house and draw it out on a paper napkin anywhere at any time, okay? Now, that 2,500, which is the Herbalife house, qualifies you for all of these things, okay? So, you know, it's definitely worth going for, guys. Get that 2,500 done. That's the job. I remember Gary said to me, as soon as I was a supervisor, he said, well, you got to do 2,500 this month. I said, oh, okay. Why? He said, because that's the job. I went, okay. So I did, and I've never not done 2,500, guys. In 28 years, every month, my minimum has been 2,500 because I've never left anything on the table. 5% royalties is that 2,500 or more royalty volume points, and I've never not got a 5% royalty check, ever. So here's the things that you get for it. So go for it, build your Herbalife house and get that 2,500. Okay, the system, you guys, if you haven't seen this, you will see it. It's the circle of success. It starts with an invitation here. You can see that, okay? And then you start the exposure, the shake parties. This is to help them get clients and make money. Goes through the success training seminar, supervisor schools, tab team academies, world team, and active world team leadership trainings. And then we go into the international events, okay? But guys, it's, you know, it all starts here with the invitation, okay? The more you invite, the more people you can put into the system, and the system will help tremendously in shaping and grooming your people for you, okay? So here's some action steps, and we're nearly done. Listen to the Building a List training by Rob Walsh, if I might say so, right? Okay, just make a target of 10 invitations to look at the business opportunity. I got 10 invitations done in 2 days, guys. And as a result of that, I signed up 5 people in 2 days. So I'm saying in the next week, do 10. So just do the list, look for dissatisfied people, work on what you're going to say to them, talk to your mentor about it, and then invite people to take a look, okay? Do the welcome calls with your mentor and your new members, and do welcome calls and the new members and sponsors in your team. So let's take it up a couple of notches, guys. Let's go to work on some of these things, okay? So coming up this week, Monday,